In this video, I will show you how to work the yarn over, purl two together stitch that's worked in my Cobbles Cowl stitch pattern. This stitch pattern is really simple, and it actually looks a bit like a crochet stitch, but it is indeed knit. It features two colors, where A is considered the background color and shows up as the garter ridge lines, and color B is used for this textured, almost knot-looking stitches. It's a 4-round stitch pattern where 3 of the 4 rounds you are just knitting or purling, but one of the rounds you're working a yarn over followed by a purl two together stitch, and that is what I'm going to demo here. So here is my little sample I created for this demo. I'm using UU Yarn's Baba Bulky, which is a great choice for this pattern too. In this stitch pattern, I'm working this yarn over purl two together round with my color B, which is the pink color. And it always follows the round where I had just knit the entire round with color B. So actually I was just finishing that round where I was knitting with color B. So I had one more stitch. So then I'm going to slip the marker. So now I'm working on the round where it says to yarn over purl two together. So let me show you how to do it. So first, let's work a yarn over. And to do that, you simply bring the yarn to the front of the work in between the 2 needle tips, and then over the top of the right needle tip. Now, because our next stitch is a purl two together, I then bring the yarn to the front of the work again. So I'm going to bring the yarn to the front just like this, so that now I'm positioned ready to purl. So then I will just purl two together. So insert your right needle into the next 2 stitches on the left needle, purlwise, just like this. Then wrap the yarn and purl them together. Now let's do that again. So my yarn is already in the front since I just worked that purl two together. So I actually don't need to bring it to the front of the work again, but I do need to bring it over the top of the right needle, and then I need to bring it back to the front. So I'm again positioned ready to purl the next stitch. So then I will purl two together. Okay, so again, to do a yarn over purl two together, my yarn is already in the front, so I'm going to keep it there, but then bring it over the top of the right needle and then back to the front. So I'm positioned ready to do the next purl two together. And that's it. And as you can see, even just from the stitches that we just did, that's what creates that cool textured, almost knot looking stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this round because I want to show you how to start the next round. Okay, I just did my last yarn over, purl two together, and then I will slip my marker. Now the next round is knitting with color A. Now I just wanted to point out 2 things. One, I left with my yarn in the front since I'd worked a purl two together. Go ahead and first bring the yarn to the back of the work. Then let's turn the work, and I want to take color A. So see how color A, let me pull this up a little bit more, is over here. So take your color B that you had just finished working, put it to the left, the strand, and then bring up color A. Now I'm just going to be knitting all the stitches, but what I wanted to really show you here is see how we had worked a yarn over on that previous round for our first stitch. So it looks kind of funny. It looks like there's a big hole or something. That is just the yarn over. So you don't want to slide that off of the needle or anything. You want to go ahead and knit that stitch. So I just wanted to show you kind of what that looked like so that you weren't confused when you would start that next round. So as you can see, then it all looks great. So you'll just go ahead and knit that next round and follow the pattern as instructed. One other thing I wanted to point out is how to read your knitting. So let's say you put your work down and then you forget where you left off. just look for those yarn over stitches. So if you had still been on that round where you were working your yarn over and purl two together, and then you weren't sure where you had left off, you can always tell a yarn over because it doesn't have a bottom of the stitch. It just looks like this loop that goes up and over the needle. Whereas the purl two together, you can tell because it has that bump underneath it. So that's an actual stitch. So just look for your yarn overs and then you'll know where you are in the stitch pattern. So that is how you work the yarn over, purl two together stitch that's worked in my Cobbles Cowl.